longest running daily radio show all about the topic of real estate. My name is Eric Wilner, and I am your host. And we are here live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week. 5 days a week, we are here at 5 p.m. And by no small coincidence, we are here 5 different ways that you can consume the real estate show on the AM 1470 places, 95.3 and 96.9, just to name two. On the apps, those free apps that you can download and listen to your radio stations, just search for WWNN Money Talk Radio. And you can listen in to us live, crystal clear, and on the go on your cellular or whatever smart device you have. You can also, if all else fails, just remember automaticlandlord.com. That's right, automaticlandlord.com. You can go straight to that site at the top of the page there. They'll show you the real estate show, a drop down, and you can either listen to us live at 5 Eastern time, or you can listen to any one of our rebroadcasts, because all of our shows are archived right there, and you can listen to them in any amount or quantity that you want at any time, on demand, whenever you want. In fact, you can even download the podcast version and take it with you and listen to it offline as well. So that and our Facebook page, that makes up the total 5 places that you can hear us. Now, we are talking this week about fear, real estate and fear. And it's amazing to think that there's a lot of people who have a tremendous amount of fear when it comes to real estate. And as I started out the week, a lot of times we like to use this acronym for the word fear, which is false expectations appearing real. And this is really the case. A lot of times I get landlord fear. You know, what if the tenants never pay? What if I can't find a tenant? Those are all things that if you do this even halfway right, you can do this well. And so every day, whether it's landlording or even owning your own home, the fear of applying for a mortgage, the fear of finding the right house or committing to the wrong house. Every day, hundreds of people enter the real estate business, whether it be their home or an investment, but especially in investing. It is amazing to me. And whenever I have an opportunity to do public speaking, I always love to ask the audience, and I'll say, who here believes that real estate is a good investment? And virtually all hands go up. Everyone understands that real estate is, if you don't believe like me that it's the ideal investment, they at least think that it's a good investment, if not great. And so then I'll say, okay, well, out of all of you who raised your hands, keep them up. And the people will look around the room and see what an overwhelming majority it is. And then I'll say, okay, now those of you who have an investment property, keep your hands up, but everybody else, put your hands down. And it's amazing that about 2/3 of the hands will go down. And this happens over and over. I already know what I'm going to see. And for every one person that commits to getting started, there are a handful that remain on the proverbial fence. The big thing holding them back is most likely fear, right? It's these false expectations appearing real. And as much as they may want to get started, they're afraid of failing in one capacity, function, or another. And they end up circling around the business without ever diving in. I can't tell you how many times. In fact, one of the saddest statements that I hear all the time in real estate is, boy, if I only known then what I know now, I would have gotten involved in real estate back in 1980. I would have gotten involved in real estate back in 1990. I would have gotten back in real estate in the year 2000. I would have gotten involved back in 2008. What a great time it was to be buying real estate when nobody wanted to own it, when most people were fearful of owning real estate. And today, How do you think those people who were courageous and were focused, that overcame their fear and bought real estate, today they would be up tremendously well? And I hear this, should I wait for the interest rates to go down further? Should I wait for the next president to get elected? Should I buy east? Should I buy west? Should I buy north? Should I buy south? And all of these, shoulda, coulda, woulda, and then unfortunately, like I said, they end up circling the business. Never going in, kind of like the wallflower at a high school dance, kind of walking along the walls, never really being involved. And it doesn't have to be that way. You alone have the ability to overcome your fear and change the course of your life. I mean, really is and can be a life-changing addition to your current career, or an even more life-changing change of careers. So what I plan to be where they are right now, the truth is they just don't have a plan. And what I want to sort of lay here in the background, and this is some of what we're going to be talking about in tonight's workshop. Yes, tonight we have our fearless first-time homebuyer workshop starting tonight at 7:30. It's not too late to get your free reservation for this online webinar. All you have to do is text 3 letters, DPA, as in down payment assistance, one of the subjects that we're going to be talking about also during tonight's workshop. Text DPA to 561-861-2366 right now. This won't interrupt the show. It won't interrupt me. It will simply trigger an automated response so that I can send you the link that will give you access for free, no cost, no obligation, no commitment, nothing. You're just going to be able to tune in, listen in, and learn simply by texting DPA to 561-861-2366. So let's talk about what some of those fears. Give you the first one before we go into the break. And this is probably one of the biggest ones that I hear, because it's the one that there's not much that you can do about. There's not much that you can do to accurately predict when the cycles will happen. But the fear of a bad market is probably one of the biggest things. Even here we are in a tremendous bull run in the real estate market. In fact, the market has been recovering since about 2012. And here we are in 2021 with virtually, a straight line of improvement. And yes, we've had little dips, and even through the Great Recession, when we recovered from that, it's been good news ever since. There was, and by the way, that contributed to the factors of why we're having such a good market and why I predict that we're going to continue. In fact, today, interestingly enough, speaking with an REO agent from up north, and they were telling me that there's a company, I'm not going to mention the name of the company, but the company which is built on REOs. That's their primary function. And they have been starving on the vine. And they have been sort of telling their agents and their employees, just wait a little bit longer, because the market crash is coming. And I have heard this conversation now for a long time, right? I've been hearing this conversation for a couple of years. And of course, the market was very strong in 2017, 18, 19. Then we had in the beginning of 2020, we had great pandemic, and everybody froze in their path. And all of a sudden, we're wondering what's going to happen. Is the pandemic going to finally bring the foreclosure tsunami? And it didn't. And on the contrary, it actually continued to boost real estate. And then we had this thing called the moratorium on foreclosures, which, some people in every market, good or bad, there's always people. in foreclosure. There's a certain percentage of the marketplace that due to illness, disease, divorce, bankruptcies, and a whole bunch of other reasons, bad things can happen to good people, and that is the end result. Anyway, they were predicting that when the moratoriums were lifted, and P.S., if you've been living under a rock somewhere, for the most part, they have been lifted. And for the most part, there's still a soft landing being worked out. So that tsunami of foreclosures, and as evidenced by this REO company that is now looking at downsizing, and they're still trying to convince their employees that this spike in foreclosures is just around the corner. Yet people have been waiting to make money literally for years, and they can't wait anymore. So the fear of a bad market, and everyone has their own opinion about the real estate market, where it's going, what it's doing. And while there's a lot of information, some of it contradictory, it can be very difficult to decipher what all of it means. And because of this, and remember, even a stopped clock is right twice a day, it's easy to be swayed by some of the opinions around there, especially even if they're wrong, if they're persuasive. Negative people, especially, will tell you just how bad of a market it is, or it's about to be. And because, misery loves company, and since they're not going to do anything about it, they will be very happy to not let you be part of the success and the rising market. And they will base their opinions on one or two offers that they've made and had rejected, if they even did. Maybe they had a buddy who tried to sell a rehab property and got stuck with it much longer than they anticipated. That doesn't mean that the market is bad. It means that maybe their marketing was bad. There are dozens of reasons why their offers weren't accepted if in a competitive market, why their rehabs didn't sell. The real estate market is cyclical. We all know that, and we want everybody to understand that. Yet it's constantly changing. And here's the best part: you can make money in up cycles and down cycles. There's advantages to each and styles of investing to each. And that's why you're listening to the Real Estate Show, because we're going to show you how to take advantage of each and every one of these cycles. And that's what we've been doing for the last 22 years. The key is how much how much are you willing to learn? How much are you willing to do? And you want to know as much as you can about where you're investing, what you're investing in, and if a particular market has a trend, how to capitalize on that. So you just, if you don't like the market that you're in, very easy, simply look somewhere else. There's a great market all around you, and one of them has to appeal to you. There's plenty of markets out there to invest in. So don't let one bad market or one slow market scare you off. Anyway, that's fear number one, the fear of a bad market. I got four more when I come back. We're going to take a quick break here, a few words from our sponsors. So don't touch that dial. We will be right back.
Today's real estate market is full of questions. Eric Wilmer at Capital One Group LLC has the answers. Call today for a no obligation consultation and get the best. 888-595-7779. That's triple.
Was the sound coming in okay? And welcome back. For those of you just joining here on the Real Estate Show, my name is Eric Wilner, and I'm your host. And I'm your host here now for 22 plus consecutive years. The Real Estate Show, yes, has been consecutively here on air without interruption through good times and through bad times, through ups and downs in the market, and through every variation in between, including some pretty I would say, extreme situations such as the Great Recession, such as the Great Pandemic. And so in these last 22 years, you can bet that I have heard some horror stories. And for every 9 investors that have had success investing, there's one who has an ugly story. And P.S., probably if you've had been in the real estate business long enough, you've probably had some sort of an unhappy story as well. Yours truly included. And it's kind of like being a baseball player and to think that you might never strike out. It's like being an athlete thinking that you'll be undefeated. That may happen for a season, but it's unlikely. In fact, I don't know any that have been undefeated in their entire careers. So unfortunately, it seems to be easier to recall the negative stories. Of course, you see that in the news. Everybody loves to focus on somebody else's misery. And it seems to be easier to recall one negative voice over the 9 positive ones. But keep in mind that there are a multitude of reasons as to why people are not always successful. One person might tell you that they spent 6 long months on a rehab and barely turned a profit. Was that bad budgeting? Was that bad timing? Was that bad marketing? Perhaps they miscalculated their numbers or produced subpar work. And this is another great conversation I've had recently with another investor when we were talking about buyers are a lot more sophisticated today. If you do a half-assed job on a rehab and cut corners, people will see and realize it, and they'll walk right past that property. And I have seen sit, because when I walked through it, it felt like, an ugly, neglected rental property, not a rehab that I was looking at. And maybe they listed the property too far over true market value. Maybe they had to wait out some price reductions because of that. The point is that you should never take a horror story as an absolute truth, or as they say, even in the stock market, that 1 month does not a trend make, and nor does one sale, nor does one transaction. So making a blanket statement about a particular market or a style of investment doesn't make sense. In fact, we talk about wholesaling real estate, buying and then immediately reselling, flipping contracts. And we talk about buying and hold. We talk about buy, hold, and rent. We talk about fixing or not fixing in any one of those strategies. There's so many different ways, and like I said, in different markets, you'll use different styles, and that's why you hear these horror stories. Is mostly because someone was either uninformed or miscalculated, whether it be their budget, the timing, the market. There are a number of things. So that brings me, by the way, to an important fact. In addition to all the different styles of real estate investing, there's also 3 different ways of investing in real estate. And this is one of the things I think is what really makes us unique, and why I highly recommend. Not only are we America's longest running daily radio show, not only do we provide great free workshops for our listeners, like the one that we're doing tonight, the Fearless First Time Homebuyers. And this is for anybody. While this is geared and really going to teach the first-time home buyers, and first-time home buyers, remember, is not someone who's never owned a home, just someone who hasn't owned one in the last 3 years. That's what technically a first-time home buyer qualifies for. A number of down payment assistance programs, a number of financing programs, and so what we say is, if you want to be an informed investor, you should know what we're talking about tonight. If you want to be an informed home buyer, even if it's your 3rd home, you want to know some of the tips we're giving to our fearless first-time home buyers tonight, because this is the stuff that prevents you from making the mistakes. Like I said yesterday in my metaphor of being the guardrails. Imagine going across the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, across the bay, which has this strong Pacific wind. And imagine driving across this huge, long, extremely high bridge. And imagine if there were no guardrails, if you could easily just swerve and just go right off into the cliff. I think people think of real estate that it feels like that. But if you have somebody, so this is the 3 different ways that you can buy real estate. You can do it yourself. You can listen to our show. You can go to our website. You can come to some of our classes. You can go out there, buy countless books, courses, webinars, and boot camps. And you can go out and do it yourself. And it's cheaper and on the entry in terms of tuition, but maybe more expensive in the long run. But some people do very well that way. You can have somebody do it with you. Get a coach, get a mentor, get a JV partner. And we offer JV partnerships on properties for those that are subscribed on our list. And the third way is the done for you, where you put up the money and you can act in various capacities. You can be a lender, you can be a partner, an investor, a silent investor, and have everything done for you. Maybe you just put up the money and you do nothing. That works also. So whether you do it yourself, you do it with us, or have it done for you, have a call with us one day and discuss what it is that you're looking to get out of real estate and what you bring to the table, whether it be lots of time but no money, or lots of money but no time, or anything in between. Now, speaking about the financing, this is a popular fear for many new investors, and it's no secret that loan guidelines and underwriting standards have changed over the years, and they will change again. So to purchase an investment property, you need a strong credit score, maybe, and a significant down payment, ample reserves, or any combination of those. But don't worry. Again, like I said, there's different ways to buy real estate, and we can bring you the best ways possible. I'm out of time for today's show. I'm getting ready to head up to our office to conduct our workshop. Remember, if you still would like to attend that workshop tonight, 561-861-2366 is the number. Text the letters DPA to get your invitation. 561-861-2366. Text DPA, and I'll see you on the webinar tonight. Well, that's it for me. This is Eric Warner signing off. Until tomorrow, drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye.